want this and this. It's pretty dope. It's a pi that has the pi symbol on it. It's like next level. Thank you. It's pi squared, baby. So, Adam, you had asked on assignment number 19. Am I saying that right? Problems 4 and 5. Okay, so just 5 it is. So problem 5 on my recording. Nice. So problem 5. So I really was only going to record quiz review questions today, but you know what? I don't see any harm in just answering them all. Maybe someone else is. Maybe wouldn't it be weird if someone actually watched this video and had the same question as you? I mean, really? That'd be nuts. So question 5 says to find three consecutive odds. Are we on the same thing? Okay, so if it says 3 consecutive odds, then we're going to define them. The first one is going to be x, the second one's going to be x plus 2, and the third one's going to be x plus 4. Are you in agreement with that? The fact that you're hesitating tells me we might have already found your issue. How did you define your integers, Adam? Well, now that's an interesting little twist. So you went from like an odd to an odd and then just to the next even. That you got to be consistent there. So we always want to keep skipping 2 to go from odd to the next odd. You got to always leapfrog over those evens. So anyways, if our integers are x, x plus 2, and x plus 4, we want, it says find, okay, so here we go. Such that the sum of, got that, the smallest and 7 times the largest is 68. Right. And then what are we going to put in place of smallest and in place of largest? Nice. I have a feeling that you've got it from here. Okay, so that was there any particular reason that you put x, x plus 2, and x plus 3? Other than it just being what I call a brain fart. I have like 96 of those every day before lunch. Okay, I just want to know, because there's a difference between a brain fart and just a straight up misconception. If you know what you're doing and you just oopsied it, then we're all good here. Munson burner, I think that was Adam's only question. What did you want to talk about? Yeah, the sugar dud. Sugar dad. The sugar daddy problem. So first off, we want to define a variable. Which one would make more sense to define? Hold on, I'm going to pause this really quickly. So who do you want to define as your x? Yeah, for sure. So we want to kind of be specific and don't say let x equal crunchy crumb. That's what we call a ghetto declaration. We want to say let x equal number of calories in a crunchy crumb. All right. And then based off of that, how are we going to define the sugar dud? X minus 3. Yeah, that's perfect. So are you okay, like even before I turned on the board and started working, you got to this part by yourself? Okay, good. So are you struggling with how to construct the equation? So I'll go back and say what I said again and again and again. And I know that it's too late. Like I'm to blame because I didn't teach you guys a 5-step process. I taught you 4. But again, I'll be adding a 5th step next year. You should use words. I think before you do math stuff, I really in my heart believe it helps if we use words. So the problem says that we need 5 sugar duds. I'm going to abbreviate that SD. Have the same number of calories as, dude, I can take, what is that, 7 words, I think? I can take all 7 of those words out and just replace them with one pretty little equal sign. So have the same number of calories as 8 crunchy crumbs. So I'm going to put 8 crunchy crumbs like that. And I know I didn't use words per se, I abbreviated, but for some reason, just having to not deal with math and X's and stuff, it seems to make the process more relaxing for us. Are you with me to this point? What are we going to put in place of sugar dud? Nice. And then what are we going to put in place of crunchy crumb? Right, so I don't even need parentheses around the crunchy crumb. So let's talk again, Hunter. Did you get this far without my assistance? Okay, does it make sense to you? And what I guess I mean by that is if I asked you to do a problem exactly like this again, would you be able to? Okay, cool. Would you like help with the math from here? Okay. Yes, Adam? Square in the rectangle? Did I go through that with you yesterday, like the drawings or anything like that? And what was, can you help me with that so I don't have to go through start to finish? What was the equation again? I'm ready. I believe you might have forgotten the 2, because aren't there 2 of those sides? Oh, you do it all in one. I forgot. It's some people do it. I'm sorry. You're right. I remember now that you're one of these. So you go top and then plus side. And was that a plus or a minus? So you do that. Okay, great. All right. So that's the perimeter, I believe, of the rectangle, and then we set that equal to 4x. Okay. And so what did you do? I like that. And then what'd you do? I like that too. Great. And then what? I assume you mean minus 4x on both sides. So I'm going to take away 4x to give me 2x. I'm going to add 20 to give me 20. And then I'm going to divide and get 10. So you're done with step 3, and this is where step 4 really shows its value, is that, no one asked us to do all this algebra. We did this because we knew we had to. And then the question now is find the perimeter of each figure. You saw that at the very end, right? So let's say you did the square. I think the square would certainly be the path of least resistance. Isn't the length of each side of your square x? So put 10 on each x, and how many? So you're done. It says find the perimeter of each figure. You're done. Because don't they have to be the same? You don't see 40 centimeters on there? You got 8 wrong then. Yeah, so let's go back and look at 8. Does that sound good? Okay. I'm gonna I'll just keep recording. I don't care. It doesn't matter. So we're on assignment 19, right? Number 8. So for this one, I am going to, I don't know if I'll draw a picture or not. The triangle pictures always feel a little bit odd to me. So which side would you declare as your x? Yeah, 100%. Like it's not even up for debate. So let x equal length of second side. I'm just going to abbreviate and just write second side. Yeah, kind of lame and lazy, but I'll do it. What else do we know? What's the first side? Yeah. And what would then be the third side? I agree. And it says, I have to go back now to the first sentence, the sentence that says that the perimeter is 71. And remember that just means that if I take the first side and I add to it the second side, and then I add to that the third side, then I'll get 71. And of course, as you know, order doesn't matter. I just decided to put them in order of first, second, third. Doesn't matter. Did you get this far?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, oh, you put these two X's together?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. So we're gonna have to put all the stuff together anyways. Bottom line is, if you asked 50 students to simplify that expression, even if they all 50 got it right, you might find 5 different ways that they did it. You know what I mean? Like you can distribute, you can do what you did, there's even more fancy ways. But bottom line is this, Adam, when I put all my X's together, I hope you agree I get 4.
Yeah.
And when I put my constant terms together, I hope you agree that I get -9. And that equals 71. And then if I add 9 to both sides, I get 4x equals 80. And then if I divide by 4, I get x equals 20. If you didn't get 20, to be a good student here, what you have to do, so you did. So you and I have not parted paths. It seems like your issue continues to be step 4. Well, maybe that's not true. But it says find the length of the longest side. So here's what I would personally do. I would go up here, and since I know x is 20, I would just in yellow off to the side, write the lengths of all the sides. This one's 20. This one's got to be 20 minus 3. And then this one's twice as long as that idiot, so he's 34. Do you agree with that? So then I can answer the question now. It says find the length of the longest side. What would that be? Hello? Okay, thanks. Bye. Adam, you good? All right. Who else has questions? Yeah, so you guys are all still back on assignment 19, right? All right. The key to this problem, if anyone else is on assignment 19, we're on problem 11, if you're interested. So square and a rectangle have the same perimeter. Did you draw pictures, Andy? Oh, well, that's why you're lost right there. Anytime, I don't mean to contradict myself. With triangles, I don't find the pictures to be as helpful. But with these rectangle pictures, especially where there's more than one rectangle, you need to draw at least one. Like in this case, you need to draw them both. So there's a square and a rectangle. So let's draw shapes. So I'm going to make a square. I'll just take it. Thank you. And then I'm going to draw a rectangle. Yes. Oh, just one paper. Nice. Good. On the stuff you never thought would be helpful, but is scale of 1 to 10, drawing pictures is like a 9.7. It's massive. So first off, when you read the problem, because I know you've read it because you've asked about it, where should my X, like what should it stand for? Not the perimeter of the square, a side of the square. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label that, but then I'm also going to label that. And then I'm thinking, just so I don't do anything stupid, I'm also going to label that. And well, I might as well label that because it's a square. They're all the same, right? Hi. I posted my answer key for the last night's review for the quiz. I posted all my answers and work on Canvas for you can look at and grade yourself. And then right now I'm answering questions that people seem to still have on question or assignment 19. I'd anticipated questions on my quiz review, but it's not happening quite yet. So by the way, I had to move the quiz to Monday because of all the assemblies tomorrow. So you've got a ton of extra study time now and time to get more. I don't know if you're all caught up on your worksheets, but you have more time to get them done. So what else? We got to take this further now. What else can you tell me? We got to label stuff, right? Like, nice, good for you. I hate it when I do that. I grab the wrong tool and then I start writing. There we go. And then what do you have for the width of the rectangle? Good for you. And again, I don't know if I need to, but while I'm here, I just, maybe I'll just, oops, my bad. I'll just label them all while I'm here, you know? That's a lot. I mean, and having that is really going to be all we need. So you might have run into an issue on this. No, there's nothing here. It just says that they have the same perimeter. So basically, Andy, what that means is that the perimeter of this shape has to be the same as the perimeter of this shape. Do you buy that? Now I just need to put stuff in. So what is the perimeter of the square? Yeah. And what's the perimeter of the rectangle? Yeah, I was wondering what took you so long to do that, but I like it looks like you mentally just combined them all together. I thought maybe you were short circuiting and then you said that and I was like, "Good, cool, I like that. It's okay to bypass some stuff like that. Very good work. And now we have to solve the equation. So it doesn't really matter which road you go down, you're going to wind up at x equals 10. Just, I mean, you could move the 4x and then move the 20, or just move the 6x and divide by -2. You're going to get 10. So now this goes back to something that Adam asked about earlier. This is about the math is over. Now it's just time to read the problem. At the very end, it says find the perimeter of each shape. And that means pick one. I mean, you know, like if I said these girls are the same age and it said find the age of each girl, if I just ask one of them, I'm done. Like I don't need to ask them both because they're the same. So the square is obviously easier. If you put 10 in there, what do you get for the perimeter? We're done. More questions? Good. Yeah, I agree with you because Bill's not described. So we're going to let x equal Bill's distance. And then first from that, I think we should define Mike for you to agree. What's Mike? And then after that, we better go define Pete. What's he? Yeah, it's nice when they compare it to the original x. You know, it saves us stress. So yeah, 3x's -1 for sure. And that's Pete. All right, so step one is done. And now step two, we have to write an equation. And the equation is going to come from, it says after the word if, it says Pete ran 15 farther than Mike. I think using words in a case like this, for me personally, I learned a lot about myself just about a week ago that even a math teacher, it helps to write words because it's real easy to put that plus 15 over there next to Pete. But you realize, of course, you wouldn't want to do that because Pete's the one that ran further, right? So you want, what are we going to put in place of old Petey? Mm-hmm. And in place of Mike? Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip right to putting x plus 23 because you got to add the 15, eh? You know what I mean? You got her from here, bud? Okay. And the question does say, how many did Bill run? So you'll be done ish. You'll still have to answer the question directly, but X will be Bill, so you'll be good there. Sure. So we know that Mario bought a book and a calculator and a backpack, and we know that he paid 40 bucks for the whole lot. So let's define an X. Let's figure out who do we know the least about. Yep, book never gets a description, so we're going to let X equal the cost of the book. And then I think from there we ought to define probably the calculator. What would that be? Yeah. And then finally we'll do the backpack. And how much is the backpack? What's that going to look like? I wouldn't recommend skipping any steps at this point. I think that we should be quite literal about this. And I'm not saying that you would not get it right, but for anyone who might be watching this or anyone in the room, it's best if we're quite literal about this. It says that the backpack cost one more than twice the cost of the calculator. So I think let's not shortcut this. What's that going to look like for us? And you might look back on this, Adam, when we're done and say, like, well, that's what I was going to do anyways. And hey, more power to you. But I don't see the benefit to speed racing through this. So now that we've done what I perceive to be the hard part, now it's time just to write an equation. And the equation is one of those early basic ones where we just add all the stuff together. So we're going to have cost of book plus cost of calculator plus cost of backpack, we know is 40 bones. Have I assisted you in any way? Are you all better? Which part of that do you not like? So it's hard sometimes when we're not communicating on the same level. So let me ask again, are you okay all the way to this point? Does everything on the television make perfect sense? So you're working through the equation now. Okay, I'll get caught up to you then. So I see 7 X's in total. Sure. And then I see -2. Give me some sort of a nod or something, a sign when you're caught up, okay? We're good? 100% agree? Then you add 2 and divide by 7. It happens pretty quick. X equals 6. Add 2, you get 42. Divide by 7. 42 divided by 7 is 6. So the question wasn't go find X because X didn't even exist until we did it, made it happen. The question was backpack. And so the backpack, I'm going to put a little yellow box around it up here. The backpack is in that yellow box right there. So all I really have to do is go up into the yellow box and say, hey, wherever I see X, I'm just going to put in a 6. Piece of cake. I don't remember. Let's see, if I put 6 right there in place of X, 2 times 6 is 12. 12 minus 1 is 11. 2 times 11 is 22 plus 1. I'm getting $23. So you'd want to just write the backpack costs $23. I need a new page. So assignment number 19, problem number 10. I got some good news here for you, Steve. This will be probably easier than you think. So it says that the first thing I read is that there's two consecutive integers. I don't want to read anything else. I just need that much. And so two consecutive integers means that x is going to equal the first one. And then what's going to be the second one? Right, because they're just regular consecutive. We don't need to skip one. So first integer is x, second integer is x plus 1. And then it's going to say, it's going to give us information. And this is an interesting, the way they phrase this question is probably why you're asking, because there's not really like a standalone sentence. You basically get everything you need to do the entire problem in one sentence. And so we need to write a relationship at this point and say, here it goes. Holy fat pen, Batman. We want to say the larger of the two integers is 7 greater than twice the smaller. What do you think about that? Does that make sense? And then what will we put in place of larger? And then what will we put in place of smaller? And then from here, I think you can probably drive this ship home, huh? Okay. Yeah. No, you multiply the length by the width. That makes me think that you're on number 4 of the quiz review. Yeah, so at the end of it, when you're done, just take your length and width and multiply them together. I forgot on this one. Did you get like 8 and 13? Yeah. So the areas should be 104. 8 times 13. Hey, and Adam, make sure that when you do the area, I know we don't talk a lot about area in this class, but make sure that you label it, since the problem says they're in centimeters, you label them as what we call, you don't say that, you say square centimeters. I know it's weird because it looks like centimeters squared, but we want to be careful to read them as square centimeters. Square feet, square miles, stuff like that. Oh, I turned my board off, so there we go. So this is assignment number 16, problem number 1, and it says the second of 3 numbers is blah, blah, blah. So we have 3, hi, Sutter. So we have 3 numbers in play. Which one of them should be our x? Yeah, I couldn't agree more. First number never gets a description, so let x equal the first number. And then can you help me write a description for the second number? It says the second of 3 numbers is 8 more than the first. Are we looking at the same thing there? Question 1? Of course, yes, because it's 8 more than the first, so we want x plus 8. And now we need to define the third number, and it says the third number is 3 less than 3 times the first. What's that going to be? I'm proud of you that you caught that. You didn't even make me go off and lecture you about how less than goes in the back. Very proud. Good job. Now we have to write an equation, and that's going to come from that last sentence. It's kind of the third line down. It starts with the word if. Do you see it there? So here's how I interpret that sentence. It says to me, and this is, tell me if you disagree, always, please. It says the third number is, so I'm going to put an equal sign, 15 more than the second. Are you okay with that? Okay. So in place of where it says third number, Alicia, we're going to put 3x minus 3. And in place of where it says second number, we're going to put x plus 8. And then from here, thank you. And then from here, we're just going to solve, right? So I have 3x minus 3 equals x plus 23. I'm going to do two steps at once here, Stone King, just so we can get done. I'm going to subtract my x from both sides, but I'm also going to add my 3 to both sides because I want to just get to the end of this problem. So the 3's and the x's will cancel, and we should be left with 2x equals 26. Therefore, x equals 13. And the problem said to find all 3. Well, we found, I think, the first one, and then you can just plug 13 back into the variable declarations to find the second and the third. Good? You with me? Sutter.